Okay, I knew I said I would come online last night, but I did not. Why? Well, yesterday and today, as you can see, I'm a hot mess, and we're going to talk about some things. And you might be curious to know that I am not entirely talking about Katie Joy for a change or any of the shenanigans in Duggartown. This is going to be mostly about Costa Rica, how to live here, what you have to know right as of right now. Maybe not applicable 6 months from now. I'm sorry, it's real hot in here. I'm having to move my hair around. Okay, so Katie Joy, whatever, girl. I did my video about that. She is making some allegations. One of the things I want that's really disturbing, and I'm going to do another video about it, is hey, bossy, all the people who get the wrong info and then spread it. We have to go through that. I think in the truther community, we got to be real careful about what it is we're saying, and we have to embrace the newcomers and really focus on what the truth is. We did our border run yesterday. Okay, I'm going to do my introduction. If you don't know me, I'm Suzanne Titkemeyer. I wrote for No Longer Quivering with Pathos for nearly 10 years. I'm asking you to do all the YouTubey things, likes, subscribe, all that. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. Let's not throw any hate at anybody talked about in this video, including a scamming Nicaraguan I'm going to talk about. No hate, no hate, no hate. And these are all my opinions about crossing the border yesterday. Okay, border run. 10 things to keep in mind when going through Penas Blancas very quickly. And I laugh every time I say Penas Blancas because we just look at that sign and go, white penis. I don't really know what it means, but I'm sure it's not white penis. But who knows? Okay. Here's the biggest thing, and this is the first one, and I put this one because I have seen people freak out over this. Some people, when they make their border run to renew their visas, they will go on a service who will take them on a turismo bus, take them hand carry them through. And that's a good way to go if you're going to freak out. If you're one of these people that you're agitated easily, do that. Pay the money and have them do it for you. Don't freak out over the trucks. Long before you get to the hotels, I'm living and get lunch on the beach. Yeah, bossy, that's right. So when you're getting near Penas Blancas, and it's on Route 1, which is the Pan American Highway that runs from Texas all the way down to Tierra del Fuego, I've been told. I don't know. I'm only familiar with the portion of it here and a tiny portion of Mexico. So for 18-wheelers to cross the borders, it can take several days for them to do their paperwork and get close. And the first thing you're going to see when you get near Penas Blancas is you're going to see truck after truck after truck, like miles and miles of 18-wheelers all piled up to the side, and you're going to have to drive around them. I've seen people freak out and get behind the trucks, but no, you just ignore that and just can't go around and ended up getting fired, not for drinking on the job or skipping work for the beach. She made a huge financial mistake with a payment, probably used as an excuse to fire her. Yes, it can be really hard to fire somebody here. So you really have to do a really nasty for that to take place. That's another reason why we are very reluctant to hire people here to do stuff for more than just day labor rates. Because if you hire someone here to work an official job, not only are you paying them, you're paying in for their health care, for the Caja system, you're paying in for many different things, and you're required to give them a full month's salary at Christmas time as a bonus. Sounds nice, but you don't have to do that if you're hired in America or by an American company. So you don't freak out over the trucks. You see the miles and miles of trucks, and you just go around them. It's the easiest way to handle it. It is kind of mind-boggling the first time you go and you see all those huge trucks and you're thinking, wow, this is pretty crazy. We asked somebody yesterday, we stopped and asked one of the truck drivers who were walking along, it's like, how long did it take you to get to the border, to the front of the border? 2 days. And I have to laugh because some of the locals have made a job out of selling stuff to the guys waiting in the lines. I don't blame them. Make some money, girl. So there's that. parking. If you're driving, there aren't a lot of parking options for you when you get up to the border. We usually park right in front of all the businesses that will let you pay your Costa Rican exit tax, which is $8. And there's only maybe 10 spaces available there. Yesterday, we parked in one of the lots off to the side. There are these big lots that you will see tour buses in. I parked there, and I only had to pay the guy $4 to watch the car for the permission to be there. So that was well worth it. Number 3, and to me, this is the most important one. When you're going to pay your exit tax, and there are a whole long row of buildings there, they all say, pay your exit tax here. Don't make eye contact with anybody who's trying to yell at you to pay things here and there. Yes, you have to pay to leave the country. It's $8 a person, and they want American money. But they'll take your card, so that's the good thing. It's $8, but here's the thing. If you make eye contact with one of the guys standing around shouting, pay it here, no line, whatever, you'll end up paying $10 to $15 instead of that $8. One guy told me it was $20, and it was kind of like, no, talk to the hand. I know how much it's supposed to be. The exit tax, yes. And if you fly out and you fly Spirit, you pay that exit tax at the airport, and it's like $22 a head, I think. Was it 28? Something like that. If you fly out, most airlines roll that into the price of your ticket now. But for a while there, they weren't, and you were having to pay your exit tax before you could even check in. So they're not even doing that now. But the problem with making eye contact with these guys shouting at you about paying the exit tax, parking here, they're going to be guys that are going to approach you and say, I will get you to the front of the line and get you from there to there within an hour. I promise. They're going to want $80. It is like a never-ending slalom of having to get past these guys that are scammers. They just want to get you to go to their company, to do this, to pay them $100. They look at you as an American with dollar signs in their eyes. And so I just say, I don't even make eye contact with them. I don't even participate with them. I asked them yesterday which ones were how much you're charging for the exit tax. And when they started doing it, I was like, nope. Because I know with the exit tax, we're not actual residents yet. We're still working on that. And that's the other thing. It is a large, lengthy packet to become a resident. We're working on that. So we're having to do the tourist. This is the tourist tax I'm talking about now. This is what tourists must do. If you're here on a tourist visa, even if you're openly living here and you're trying to become a resident, you have to do this every 90 days. And you have to pay the exit tax. There's no way around that, unfortunately. I'm going to go pay mine from now on at the bank so that I have the paperwork before I ever go to the border again, because the bank's just going to charge you $8. It's not like these other places. Yesterday, they closed all of them except for one, which charged $10. So we didn't have any choice. We had to pay extra to leave the country, even though we knew better. So if you're a Nicaraguan and you're trying to cross back into Nicaragua, you have to pay that tax. And I read a breakdown at one of the Costa Rican sites about what the $8 buys you. $5 is administrative fees. $2 is to have a drug dog sniff your bags. $1 is to have them search your bags. Well, I never have bags with me when I make the border run. I'll show you what I bring. My backpack, my trusty backpack with little birds all over it, my kiddo backpack. And I have all my stuff in there. I have all my documents. I have extra stuff. And I'm going to hit on that in a minute, what you need to take with you. Because that's my next point, point number 4, what you need to bring. You need to bring a bottle of water, most definitely, because we are talking hard walking. And it's not a short distance. We're talking like a mile or so. It's not entirely paved. There's potholes everywhere. There's dirt. There's not real good paving. So you really need water, good walking shoes, some sort of way to carry your things so that nobody will be able to snatch your handbag easily, because there are petty thieves around. So you have to give yourself enough time too, because if you get behind a bus that's going through, You're going to have to go behind everybody on that bus, and it's going to take forever. I'm going to say I'm lucky, even though I'm not lucky for this. Handicapped. If you are handicapped, you can go to the front of the line. I rarely do that, but occasionally I will if there's a big bus. Healthcare there is the best. I'm just going to say that it's the best. If you're a resident or you were born here, then you get the CAHA treatment, which is very basic and bare bones. It compares to military healthcare in the military when my husband was in there. Very similar, very similar. Even the buildings look the same. And you pay based upon income. So if you don't have a high income, you may end up paying $22 a month for your health care. So what they do is they assess you whatever they think you should pay, but based on your income. And it's all free. Your prescriptions are free. Seeing a doctor is free. Preventative care is free. That's awesome. Since we're still in the process of getting everything together to be residents, we have to use private insurance and see private clinics. And our private insurance is our primary insurance in the States. It's the insurance my husband had with his job, which is kind of a gold standard insurance for government employees. What it does is it covers 100% going to the hospital here. And any prescription I have, any doctor's visit, I just go ahead and submit it. And here's the awesome thing about that. The full pay for the doctor's visit is less than the copay I was paying in the States. So I'm actually out less dollars initially, and then they reimburse me later. So the treatment is good. What about pain treatment? So bad here. We're moving there in 2 years. I've got MS. The pain treatment. Oh, hey, Amanda. Merry Christmas to you, too. And the day before Xmas Eve. Pain care here is kind of, okay. I'm struggling with this right now. I'm going to explain all about that, too. They will give you pain pills, and they have different pain pills here than they have in the States, even though they have some of the same narcotics and things. It's pretty good. And like I had a girlfriend that was having back problems. She could go to the CAHA. They put her on the morphine drip every time because that's what she needed. So you should be able to get pretty decent pain care. I'm about to experience that because I have thrown out my ankle yesterday. About 10, 12, 15 years ago. It was after we left our old church, but not before we came here, long before we came here. I had a crazy accident where I fell down into a pile of light bulbs at Lowe's because a lady rode her hover round over my foot. I ended up really damaging my ankle pretty badly. They think maybe pulled or torn ligaments. It goes out every now and then. Usually it's not bad. It went out yesterday because I did the full mile walk, I think, because I must have stepped on it wrong, stepped on a hole or something. But today I'm in agony. So if I'm still in agony in a day or two, straight to the healthcare and say, give me narcotics now. So far, it hasn't been as hard to get narcotics if you need them. It hasn't been as hard to get pain pills. Here's the problem I have with the healthcare system here. When I went to Johns Hopkins to a doctor there at the research center, I got medical marijuana for my asthma, and it worked well. Medical marijuana is not a thing here, but they don't really enforce the drug laws on Americans. So what I do is I slip off to the Thursday night market in Tamarindo, and there's a lady that sells pot brownies. She openly sells them, and I'll get one of those and cut it up into 16 pieces, stick it in the freezer, and there's my medical marijuana edibles for 16 different asthma things. Do you think prescriptions to go to a pharmacy in CR is like in the States? Is it like Mexico? In Mexico, you would just walk into these places and buy it. I remember that. I know it makes me look bad, or I feel like it does, but I don't care. I totally get it, Dinky Winky. I have mast cell, and now I've had a stroke, and I've got other things. Yeah, stuff that we get here, everything is in a blister packet. everything except narcotics and benzos is over the counter. Everything. You just walk in without a prescription and say, hey, I need a box of Lyrica, I need a box of metformin, I need a box of blah, 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 and they will just accommodate you. Here you go. And I found places where it's cheaper. Yeah, pop brownies for the win every time. So it's entirely possible to get pain relief here, like I said. And you don't have any problem ever getting your prescriptions. You just walk in and pay for them. If you're on CAHA, you walk into CAHA and get them for free, but we're not CAHA residents yet, so we're not able to do that yet. But I'm going to tell you that this is generic Lyrica. I was getting the brand name Lyrica before, but now I'm getting generic. The brand name was running me about $50 a month. This is running me about $25 a month. Without insurance in the United States, Lyrica runs you a good $1,000 a month. So there's a huge difference in the price of drugs here. Even if you have to pay for them over the counter, it's much, much, much cheaper. Oh, bossy, I wish I could. I'm going back in the States next time. I'm gonna stock up, and if they give me any crap at the border, I'm flashing my medical marijuana card because I understand they generally won't if you have one of those. So it's really good. It's the best. And if you can't walk, you can take a taxi from the Costa Rican immigration building right up to the border. And all you have to do is get across that 20 yards or so no man's land between Costa Rica and Nicaragua, where they stand off and stare at each other and there's nothing in between. And when you get to the Nicaraguan side, you can take a pedicab all the way up to the building and all the way back. So if you can't walk it, you don't have to do that. Tinky Winky, it is so much cheaper here for all of that. All drugs are, even the name brand ones. I've had great THC seltzer, and the best part is it kicks in right away. So if you need another, you drink another. Very different than regular edibles. That is very different. I'll have to try that next time I'm in Maryland with my kids, because I know that Maryland has those things. It's all legal. I've heard that too. Amanda. For me, it would have to be almond butter because I'm allergic to peanuts for some crazy reason. The other super important thing to keep in the mind, number 5, documents ready in hand. That means knowing your COVID test within 48 hours. And Nicaragua only takes a PCR, so it's having the correct test, having it within 48 hours, having it in your hand, or having it. What did I do with that? Where's my cell phone? I had mine on my cell phone. I just scanned my documents in that way. This time I went totally digital with all my documents, and it worked out well. I used to print them out and have them digital and print, but this time I decided just to go with digital, and it worked out. You just have to show them that you have these things. And the last